I'm Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today we have our newly elected mayor, the one and only Skip Henderson.
Hey Gloria, how are you?
I am well. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
You're kind of changing seats. We kind of talked about that before we started. You're moving from one seat over to a different seat.
That's
so
right.
You've been serving the citizens of Muskogee County for how long now?
Almost 21 years.
Okay, and what was that position?
I ran originally in 1996, started serving in 97 as one of two at-large representatives on the city council. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. After doing that for 20 years is a big, I treasure the experience because it's going to help the transition. But as you and I talked,
right.
There's a lot of difference between a part-time legislative position and a
Right.
full-time executive position.
And it really is, but you have deep community roots.
We do.
We have people that are new to the area because you were an Army brat yourself. And so we have people that have moved into the area that might not remember when you first started as our at-large council person. So at-large means that you represented the entire city.
That's right. The city is divided into 8 districts, and then they provide for 2 at-large. So every voter in Muskogee County will vote for 4 people. They'll vote for the mayor, their 2 at-large representatives, and their district representative.
Okay, and so we have to make sure people understand
That's
that
right.
because we are a consolidated government.
That's right.
And not every county in the state of Georgia is consolidated.
That's right. And,
Right.
and there's a lot of economy that you can gather from consolidating with your county with the city. Instead of 2 different taxes for a county tax and then a municipal tax, we actually overall managed to hold it down a little bit by being taxed just from one
entity.
Right.
Yeah, because we own some family property in
Right.
another county, and we get a bill from the city,
That's
and then
correct.
we get one from the county.
That's right.
Okay, so you were an Army brat.
I was.
And
still am.
Dad is still.
Dad will be 86 on this month. So
Really?
He's gone. He's
And still running
feisty.
things.
Oh man, yeah. But it's great. He lives next door. We get a chance to go visit with him. I go by about 3 or 4 times a week and hang out with him for a little bit.
And he's there closely to supervise you in case you need some of that military training.
And he gives it quite freely and quite often. And I'm grateful for it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
actually
grateful for
that is a blessing.
Oh,
That is
man,
a blessing.
yeah, it is.
And so what high school did you attend? I just want some of the people that's new
Yeah.
to the community to know and learn more about you today.
Well, I appreciate it. Actually, I was born here in Columbus. Dad was stationed here, and we left shortly thereafter and moved back when he was in Vietnam in 1966. And I went to first grade at Clubview.
Clubview, and it's still there.
It's still there.
Oh my goodness!
You'd think after 1 year of me, they might not still be there, but it was great. A lot of good friends here. We lived over on Glenbrook Drive.
And that's Lindsay Creek.
It is. It's right behind the Shrine Club, right over there on Edgewood. But anyway, we moved back in about '74. Dad was assigned to Fort Benning again, and we've been here ever since.
Ever since. And so what high school
Went to
did you
Columbus High.
Columbus
Matter of
High.
fact, we moved here right before my freshman year at Columbus High School. I graduated in 1977.
And went from Columbus High to what school? Because it wasn't the Albany State University.
No, it was not. I probably, and that's probably, the Albany State University is probably glad about that because I obviously wasn't ready for school just yet, but I went off to the University of Georgia for a few years, ended up coming back home to Columbus College at the time.
Okay.
And got married not too long after that. Karen and I chased her for about 8 years and finally caught her.
Oh, bless her heart.
She got tired of running, I guess. But we got married in ’83.
Okay.
And we've been married almost 36 years. Got 2 great kids. We're very, very proud of them.
And your son's
our son's a first responder.
Very
He's
good.
a firefighter, an EMT. Serves the citizens of Columbus. Our daughter lives and works in Atlanta.
Okay.
So
you've done good with that. And so your wife, is she from Columbus?
She is.
She is? So she really knows you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, that's why she's not here.
Okay.
No, I like most men, I outpunted my coverage. I married way out of
Above
my
yourself.
league. Oh, yes, ma'am. Just like Tolly.
Yes, yes.
And it, that's one of the reasons I love this city. Everything of real value in my life came from Columbus, Georgia.
Deep roots.
Absolutely.
And so before you start the new adventure, which will be in January, your wife will be retiring from her other life.
She will.
Okay.
And she would be so upset if I told you how long she'd been there, but she's been with Georgia Power.
She's only 30.
That's right. So she started as an infant with Georgia Power.
Yes.
But great company, and she's been with them for a long time, and she's looking forward to retiring early next year.
Okay, so she's going to retire. The kids are all grown.
That's
and
right.
She's going to take this next adventure with you.
I'm going to do my best to drag her along. I got a feeling I'll only succeed sometime.
Well, you're going to have to, because I told you someone should get those roller skates for Christmas. Because really, Columbus has grown, and you and I both know that. It wasn't the place that it was when we were in high school, you know, back in the 70s. It has just gone from County Line Road, you know, all the way down to Fort Benning. And it's just a very different city.
It is.
It is a very different city.
The city itself has changed, and one of the things I love about this community is largely because of Fort Benning. We're such a diverse community. There's so many people from different countries, different parts of this country. And frankly, our strength and our ability to grow as we have is because of the diverse nature of the folks that live here.
Right, and we've had people to come from other parts of the world or the United States and decide to make Columbus their home. And so that brings in all the different cultures and things that we can learn. So it really makes us better.
Absolutely.
It really does. Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to take our first break, go to our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. All right. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Chalk by Quincy introduces Excellence Redefined, timepieces of the finest technology, luxury, and class with tons of style at chalklifestyle.com. Renal Associates LLC, a team of physicians dedicated to excellent kidney care with 5 convenient locations to serve you: Stark Avenue, Columbus; Bradley Park Drive, Columbus; Lafayette Parkway, LaGrange; West Washington Street, Eufaula; and Spring Street in Warm Springs. Vanessa Jackson's District 3 Successful Scholars Program, supporting students in achieving academic excellence, outstanding citizenship, positive social and cultural growth, believing in success for kids. Dr. Sheikha Shaw Family Medicine, connecting your health to your future. Dr. Shaw prides herself in providing compassionate health care and establishing long-lasting relationships. Conveniently located at 2827 Warm Springs Road, Suite 3B. Call her today at 706-324-4177.
Come meet your new best friend at Paws Humane.
Adopting from your shelter makes sense. You get a great friend checked by our vet. They're fixed, all shots, microchipped, all ready to make you and your family's life better. 4900 Milton Road, Columbus. Paws Humane.
Come meet your new best friend at Paws Humane.
Welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing my conversation with the newly elected mayor, the one and only Skip Henderson. I tell you, you got those roller skates ready?
We're oiling them up as we speak.
You're oiling them up and trying to rest a little, but you do have a vision.
We do, and the interesting thing is when we were elected, you know, the election was in May, and I actually resigned my post on council in February.
Right.
And so we won the election in May, but we don't begin serving until January.
Officially.
Officially. Good point, because we have been spending a lot of time
at community events.
We have, and it's a great opportunity before things get really, really hectic to visit with some of our community partners. They may not be affiliated with the government, but they certainly serve the citizens of this community.
Yes.
So I want to, anytime one of them invites me out right now, we're going.
Right.
And
your schedule will allow that right now.
And
I did see you and your wife at the autism.
Yes.
And of course, Mary Ann Young and Diane Pope, they're really awesome. They're mothers that kind of got involved because they had children on the autism spectrum. We didn't know that we have organizations that raise money for different causes, but the money doesn't always stay here.
That's right.
And so they were trying to raise money to serve our children specifically and adults in this county. And of course you were there.
Right.
So it was a lot for me to learn, and I'm an old social worker,
You know,
so I'm sure you learned a lot
Yeah,
as
and you
well.
know, in fact, after we spent the evening at the gala, I actually scheduled an appointment, went and visited with Diane.
Oh,
and
very
so
good.
we had an opportunity to talk a little bit about what led her to
Yeah.
begin that group that she heads up.
Because her son is like 30 years old, and she was in that fight when it wasn't a popular thing.
That's right. And so it was enlightening. And those are the kind of things I'm trying to do. I mean, it seemed like a very long time from May to January, right after the election. Two things we've discovered. One, it's getting here very quickly.
Very.
And the other is that time can be put to good use. And so that's what we're doing. The mayor's been very good to work with. She has tried to keep me in the loop on things that are going on. They've prepared a desk there for me. So probably in the middle of October, I'll start showing up 2, 3, 4 days a week.
Trying to learn what
just
you already didn't know over the last.
Blend in, be a fly on the wall. Just
Yeah, because it's always a learning curve.
Sure.
I don't care what it is. Even
know-
if you're in the same organization, even in corporate America, if you change a role, then there's always something new you can learn.
Well, and it's a completely different dynamic because you're moving, as we hinted at that earlier, you go from a part-time, by charter, a part-time legislative position, and it takes
Right.
up a lot of time.
Yes.
It's a labor of love. There's some very, very good people sitting around that council table. But then making that transition to a full-time executive, frankly, that's one of the things that drew me to the job of mayor, and it's why Karen and I talked about it and we sought that position, because I really I enjoy serving this community so much, and to me, local elected service is community service.
Absolutely.
So I like the accountability. I like the fact that people can reach out and tap me on the shoulder and say, why did you do this? Why aren't you doing it? We should welcome the accountability, and that's one of the things that I really look forward to. I want to be transparent. I want to be approachable.
And accessible.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that's all people want. Even if it's not the answer they're looking for, sometimes people just want to be heard.
And throughout the time I've been on council, that's sort of been my battle cry, is that you deserve an answer. You may not like the answer I give you because I'm always going to tell you the truth, but you deserve to know. You deserve to have your questions answered, so you know where you stand with whatever issue you're
Exactly.
pursuing, so.
And that's why it's so important to keep the people engaged and let them know that they are valued, because we need people to participate in the process. And I always tell people, you don't always agree with your spouse. You know, she might want a Bentley. You might tell her just because she's retiring she can't get a Bentley.
That would probably be what I tell her.
But you know, just because we don't agree don't mean we have to be disagreeable.
No, and that's the key thing. I mean, I respect everybody's opinion and their right to express it. The only thing I ask of them is they keep it civil.
Right.
I'll talk to them as long as they want, as long as we respect one another's right to differ in our ultimate opinions. But
because we don't want people to think it doesn't matter.
Well,
Because see,
everybody
we'll
matters.
see that. No, we'll see that sometimes in races.
Yeah.
People won't show up to vote because people have apathy.
No, listen.
Whether it's national, state, or local, they'll say, "Well, it doesn't matter," but it really does matter.
Every citizen of this community matters, and that kind of aligns itself with my philosophy of what government should be. In my opinion, the only reason for government to even exist is to allow everybody in the community to have an opportunity to live their best life.
Yes.
Period. That's
Right.
it. That's all government focus
And it
should
might be different from your best life.
Sure it is. I
Yeah.
mean, there are a lot of people that want to follow different paths, and as long as they're within the laws of our country and our
Right.
state and our city, that's fine.
Right.
One of the challenges is getting some of these opportunities to these people, because there are people in different areas of Muskogee County that have fallen behind.
Right.
They're mired in poverty. They don't have good jobs. They may be in an environment where it's a lot less safe.
Yes.
And those are all things that we are going to address through a number of different actions that we plan to take.
Right. And sometimes we just need to, of course, you were saying by charter. I
Right.
did serve on the Charter Review Commission in the 2010.
There's another one coming up.
Yeah, I know, and that's a good thing. And you'll be on board, and you've been around long
Right.
enough from the old Columbus to the new Columbus, so you kind of have a broader view. But sometimes we just have to go outside of our own neighborhood And you being from Columbus, see, you know all the neighborhoods, you know, from Victory Drive to what it used to be back in the day to, you know, before we actually went all the way out to County Line Road. Some people didn't know that Bibb City was not always a part of Columbus.
No, it wasn't.
You know, and that was some of the language we changed in the 2010 Charter Review Commission. You know, so bringing people on board and just everybody going forward together.
Well, and it's going to take a concerted effort. I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity right now. I mean, Uptown obviously is what everybody hangs their hat on, but the Liberty District is beginning to take shape. If we can get some development started in the Liberty District, it should flow down to the corner of 4th and Veterans, where the Housing Authority's got a prime piece of commercial property. Then you've got it bookended down at the end of South Lumpkin with Westville coming in and the Infantry Museum out there. A lot of opportunity for infill development between those two. City Village, which is up through Bibb City and going up into the old Bibb City and going up on
the
2nd
old Bibb City, right?
There are tremendous opportunities to generate some viability up that corridor. Going across the 13th Street Viaduct, the connector with Midtown, there's some opportunity there. There's opportunity now. We just announced, the Chamber just announced a 600 job call center that's going out in the old Winn-Dixie on Buena Vista Road.
Right.
That's going to be an incredible shot in the arm.
So people don't have to try to figure out that don't own cars, because we own cars. Everybody, they're not car owners.
Absolutely.
That they can go and work in that community and not have to pay a taxi. $25. I know people pay a taxi $25 to go from where they live to their job.
Well, and you hit on a key component. One of the things that is a big challenge for people to find jobs, number one, it's getting the training and the skills they need. But number two, it's being able to get to the job.
Exactly.
So with this going into that area, we should see the development of some restaurants and some retail, because they're going to want to serve all those folks that are there working. So
well,
it's exciting.
It is, and I was very excited, you know, to hear about that, because in my old life as a social worker, I know how people have lost jobs, because if you're already making a very low wage, you can't afford to keep paying $25 to take a taxi ride. I mean, then it's almost just worth staying home.
It's too many hurdles for somebody trying to better themselves and their family.
Right. Okay, well, what we're going to do is take our final break, go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Warrior Outreach. Contact Command Sergeant Major Retired Sam Rhodes or Kathy Rhodes. The Hugel Foundation, enriching the community through Christian music support, community outreach, and the Georgia Through Photography Project. For more information, call B at 706-568-6431. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Best Care, transforming minds and bodies, leading the way in the latest techniques of medical weight loss and wellness. Certified in family medicine and bariatrics, Dr. Blunt is ready to assist in the transformation of your mind and body. Call today, 706-221-6477, or visit bestcarecolumbus.com. East Alabama Endocrinology, educating and caring for those living with diabetes in Alabama and Georgia. 1400 Bradley Lake Boulevard, 3320 Skyway Drive, Suite 602, Opelika. Take charge of diabetes and live your best life. State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front line for veterans every day.
Walmart's reason for supporting Thurgood Marshall College Fund is simple. We like to win. And we have been given a lot of exposure to some incredible talent. And we also believe that it's a part of our responsibility to the community to give back. This is a great opportunity to do both. It's been a wonderful experience for us through the years. We've appreciated our partnership. We believe in return on investment, and we have definitely had a remarkable return.
Welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing my conversation with the newly elected mayor, Skip Henderson. All right now, so we got some great things going on. You know this city from a boy to a man, boys to men. You know there's a song. Boys to men. We got Dad on board, who's an old soldier, who's going to make sure that you are, you know, staying the course. We love those old soldiers now.
Yes,
I'm telling you, because
yes,
they're about duty, honor, country.
That's right.
Exactly. So we don't have to worry about that because he's going to be standing by watching.
He'll hold me accountable.
He will hold you accountable. And so where are you going to take us? What's the plan?
Well, there's a couple of things that we're going to jump on right out of the gate. One of the things that I think is critical, you know, the world has changed. Information is flowing at a faster rate than it ever has before, and the management of that data is critical. Businesses have adjusted the way they deal in the new technological economy.
Yes.
Governments have been slow to do that. So I am focused on trying to begin to change the culture of government. We've got to look for alternative ways to deliver services. We may even have to do some reprioritization. Columbus, Georgia, for all the wonderful things that we've got here, has not grown at a rate that will sustain the demand for services that we have. So we're going to have to try to find different innovative ways to continue to provide these services, because we don't want to cut services to the citizens.
No, we can't do that, because
No,
they're going to keep going. You being a military brat,
right.
They're going to go over to Fort Mitchell. They're going to go through the back gate over
right.
that Lawson
Sure.
Airfield, and they're just going to keep moving
You're right.
over to Smith Station in Fort Mitchell.
You're right. And the other thing that goes hand in hand with that, we talked briefly about how there are a lot of people that just don't feel safe in their community. We've got to address a couple of issues with regards to our some of the crime that we've got in Columbus.
Yes.
Not the least of which is hiring, paying, and retaining our public safety officers.
Exactly.
Now, I don't want people to think we're focusing just on public safety. We are focusing on them, but we're focusing on general government too.
Exactly.
All of these people who deliver services to our citizens ought to be able to make a wage that allows them to own a home, raise a family.
And not be on public assistance. I mean, that's not being shady, but
No,
a lot of times we have people talking heads. They don't really understand that people, if they have a family of 4 and their wages are low, they qualify for food stamps.
There was actually a police officer that just to see, they actually live in Phoenix City, had gone and applied for food stamps, just to see if they qualified. They did.
Yeah.
Now they didn't take them,
Right.
but from a source of pride. But we've got to be able to make sure that we enforce the laws, but that's law enforcement.
Right.
We also have to work on crime prevention,
Yes.
on cutting off the food supply. And unfortunately, that's a societal issue.
It is.
It's not something we can fix just from Columbus, Georgia, but what we can do is we can leverage partnerships. That's going to be a key part of what we try to bring to the mayor's office. We're going to partner with people who have strengths that can help us achieve some of the objectives that we have throughout the community. It shouldn't be, it can't be just left to government. So what we've got to do is find partners who are going to help us provide structure for some of these young people who are currently not getting enough structure when they're out of school.
Because you remember when back in the day we had Parks and Rec, but they were neighborhood focused.
They were.
Miss Christine Allen was my playground teacher at Carver. Her mother, Miss Mose, was at BTW. We had Miss Turgeon. We had all of those because if kids don't have something to do, they'll find something to do.
Something to do will find them.
I was a juvenile tracker. I can tell you that in between those hours of 3 and 6. You know, and it has to be something that they can afford.
Sure.
Not all kids can afford tennis or that. It has to be something that.
One of the things I picked up during the trip to Denver was Denver actually has a card for children. They can get in free to recreation centers, pools, cultural exhibits, and get either reduced or free transportation on their public transportation system.
Now that's a good idea.
So that's a good, and the other thing I want to do is we're already talking to people to try to identify ways to raise money. I want to bring back the summer work program for kids 16 to 18.
Yes.
And we might even try to work in a mentorship where if somebody wants to hire them, maybe we can offset 50% of their wages and teach these young people
the on-the-job trainings.
And the pride of earning their own money.
Exactly. I worked for the CETA program, which was the founder of all of that. And it went from CETA to the JTPA and then, the work, whatever. And that was something that the children from the lower economic backgrounds had something to look forward to.
Absolutely. And then the other key thing that we're going to be working on is jobs. We've got to be able to help create more jobs, quality paying jobs, so that the single parents don't have to work 3 jobs and be away from their kids and leave them to the streets. We can do that. I don't think it's all bringing in big manufacturing plants. I think we need to be viewed as a community that wants to help dreamers grow their dream, build their own company, start paying wages to other people who go to work for them.
Right.
And the way
livable wages.
That's right.
Right.
And the only way to do that is to identify the next wave of leaders. It's to go meet with these millennials and meet with the young professionals from the Chamber and the Student Government Association from CSU, Troy, and some of the other schools.
But the only thing I have to caution you about this, and I've had this conversation with the presidents of universities at this table, they have to be taught. Just because you get a PhD today doesn't mean that you can be the president of the college. You have to learn some things along the way, because that's a part of leadership.
Listen,
you have to be a follower in order to be a leader.
That is so critical, because the universities do a great job on the 4-year degree programs, but the technical colleges and some of the 2-year programs that are being offered, like film through CSU, a lot of the programs that are offered through Columbus Technical College, these teach people how to go to work. They teach them how to earn a check, and that's what a large number of our young people want.
Right. So we just got to make sure we have that balance.
Yes, ma'am.
You know,
We're
I
on
worked
it.
at Andrew College, and you know, I do know. I mean, I have had supervisors that had a PhD that never had a job. So if you never had the job, you might have the credentials, but you need to have some work skills and life skills, and that makes it better for everyone.
The challenge is to bring these opportunities to people who otherwise might not be aware of them.
Okay, so you're going to be sworn in when?
I believe it's the 7th of January.
Okay, so you're going to be well rested, ready to go?
Well, the ready to go part, yes. Well rested, I'm not sure.
You don't
but,
know. Okay, and so you're going to move into a little quiet corner office in the next month or so.
Right.
And you're going to just start looking at it from the other seat.
Well, I think it's like in a relay race.
Yeah.
For the baton to be passed effectively, both runners have to be moving.
Exactly.
So I intend to start my sprint.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time
Gloria,
out
thank
of
you.
your busy schedule to
ma'am.
come. I'm happy that you know the old Columbus. You have enough of the history to take us to where we need to go, the new Columbus. And I'm just going to ask that you bring everybody along.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when we all succeed, it just makes it a better place.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Gloria.
And we'll be praying, and we'll have you come back again.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.